Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Yesterday, it is being called Bloody Sunday as 4 officers were shot across the United States of America. Now, this is something that we're continuing to see develop, the anger between citizens and cops, and now it's resulting in the deaths of police officers. Again, it's being called Bloody Sunday. 4 police officers shot across the nation. San Antonio police detective Benjamin Marconi was fatally shot while he was sitting in his patrol car writing a ticket. He was a 20-year veteran of the force. Also, 3 other police officers were wounded and 2 suspects killed in shootings in St. Louis and Gladstone, Missouri, and Sanibel, Florida. McManus, who is the police chief in San Antonio, said that he feels the police were targeted and that the police uniform is the target. Now, that would incorporate a hate crime. And just like people beating people up for being a Trump supporter, if you're going after someone for being a police officer, that is a hate crime. Now, James Pascoe, the executive director of the National Fraternal Order of Police, said 4 attacks on officers in one day is another alarming sign of the times. In July, 5 officers were killed in Dallas and Baton Rouge 2 weeks after that Dallas attack. 3 more officers were killed and 3 others wounded. Now, in St. Louis on Sunday, a 46-year-old police sergeant who was shot twice in the face Sunday evening was released from the hospital, according to Chief Sam Dodson. Dodson said the officer was sitting in his cruiser in traffic when he was shot by someone in a nearby car. The 19-year-old suspect was killed hours later in another shootout. So there's clearly a targeted attack being done on police officers right now. In Florida, an officer was in his patrol car wrapping up a routine traffic stop at about 8 p.m. on Sunday when he was shot in a drive-by shooting. So you've basically just got random attacks on police officers, people engaging in gunfights with police officers. And when did this start? Was this going on 10 years ago in this country? Not really, to the extent that we're seeing it now, especially just random attacks on police officers. So I'm just curious, is this the legacy that Barack Obama is telling you about, his legacy? Is this the legacy of the mainstream media fomenting this violence against police officers by running with false narratives? I say yes. Now, in another breaking story, an arrest has been made in New York with a suspected terrorist, Mohammed Rafiq Naji, who had been driving for Uber in the state of New York, has been arrested. He is 37. He is facing charges of providing materials that support terrorism. The 37-year-old Brooklyn resident has been arrested for allegedly trying to fight for ISIS, according to the documents filed in court on Saturday. Prosecutors say Mohammed Naji, a citizen of Yemen and a permanent resident of the U.S., has been expressing support for ISIS on social media since 2014. Shocking. Shocking how he can do that, but if you support Trump on social media, you get censored. You support ISIS, you're good to go. Now, it's being alleged that he traveled to Turkey and Yemen in 2015. His lawyers are saying he had a reason to be there. He is being held right now. Naji is alleged to have shared his plans for a local attack in New York with a confidential informant, and he's saying that he was going to hold this attack in Times Square in a similar fashion to what we saw in Nice, France. And Naji is alleged to have said that they want an operation in Times Square. So basically, and of course, there have actually been others arrested. He's not the first. I don't know what the exact number is. Actually, it may be in this story. A half dozen others have been accused of supporting ISIS or attempting to join the group since 2015, and Naji is the latest. And allegedly, he wanted to carry out a Nice-style attack in Times Square. Now, I've filed reports from Times Square, and I've asked people if they are worried about a terror attack. It's about 50-50, but the interesting thing about this is, think about everything we've had happen in New York this year. On the 3rd of July, a an explosive device blew off a kid's leg in Central Park. No follow-up reports on that. They just claim it was an abandoned firework. I'm calling BS. Then you had the dumpster bombing in Chelsea, New York. That man was later arrested in New Jersey with potential ties to radical Islam. And now you've got Najee, who was just arrested, who traveled to the Middle East and wanted to carry out a knee-style attack in Times Square where it would be possible for him to do that. And he was a Uber driver. And at 5:59 a.m. local time in Japan, a 7.3 magnitude earthquake hit just off the coast of Fukushima, very close to the earthquake in 2011 that caused the major tsunami that caused the total catastrophe at the power plant of TEPCO in Fukushima. Now, TEPCO has said today, so far with the earthquake and the ensuing tsunami, that there have been no major malfunctions or damages to report. We were doing a live broadcast of that today. It did not look like we were going to reach the catastrophic levels that we did in 2011. Thank God. Our thoughts and prayers are still with the people of Japan who endure another earthquake and tsunami today. Thanks to everybody who tuned in to the Nightly News. Alex Jones will be live 11 a.m. Central tomorrow. Nightly News, 7 p.m. Central. I'm Owen Schroyer. Thanks for tuning in.
But there was an article last Friday in Hollywood Reporter that is so important, where Steve Bannon, the chief strategist for President-elect Trump, lays it out that globalism was designed to make us poor and set up this elite system for rich families to control everything, and that America is going to absolutely now lead the world out of this with incredible prosperity, and they have the actuaries and the numbers, with cutting taxes on working class people that will bring back Americana under the Republican Party. But he says we've got to purge the Republicans of the establishment people, and we've got to deliver to the people, and we will get a majority vote from whites, Hispanics, blacks, you name it, because it'll be based on having a sovereign, prosperous nation, not one where the government takes the wealth from the middle class and then redistributes it to a growing, dumbed-down, giant underpopulation made up of every race of human. If you want human liberty, if you want freedom, if you want self-determination, if you want to be able to control at least a small part of your own destiny, we are brothers, we are sisters in arms together in the great quest for free association, free will, and the right for self-determination. I salute you. And again, thank you for taking the Infowar, which you are the heart of, to the next level, and to encourage you to continue right through this Thanksgiving, to share the information with your friends and family, to share the articles, the videos, the URLs, the podcast, and to support the broadcast by getting the amazing pro-Second Amendment apparel, the pro-Trump apparel, the pro-nationalism apparel, the non-GMO heirloom seeds, the high-quality water filtration systems, the amazing supplements and nutraceuticals, which are running 30 to 50% off right through this week, with every day having a loss leader special at InfoWarsStore.com. Check it out today, and please continue to support this operation.